Let's see how many social conscious biases and unconscious biases were included in this film. First, we will look at the gender biases in the movie. Let's see the clip first.
During the opening scene of the film, we are introduced to the main protagonist, Detective Tom, who is played by Keanu Reeves, a Los Angeles police officer who operates off the record in order to, as he says, get the job done. As seen in the clip, the muscle car and music accompanying his fast driving style all contribute to the makeup of his masculine character. This theme of toxic masculinity is common in many films, and the idea that men are tough, not needing proper self-care, and emotionally insensitive all contribute to this manly makeup that can bleed into the real world.
This idea of social constructed one is out of date, and its appearance in the film does nothing but continues to the idea that women must act like women.
Now let's talk about the cast. The actor Wally Rudolph, who plays the role of Thug Kim, is Chinese Jamaican, and the actor Garrett T. Soto, who plays the Toilet Man, is Japanese American. However, they have both casted to play the members or the roles of members in a Korean gang. This can be evidence of how rare Asian Americans are in Hollywood. Because there are not many popular Asian American actors, they often cast Asians of multiple ethnicities to play different ethnicities, such as these actors were in this film. I also want to point out that Asian Americans are usually all lumped into one category that does not reference their ethnicity, such as Korean, Japanese, Chinese, etc., but instead regards them all as simply just being Asian.
This is unusual way to identify people because most other American ethnicities reference the country that the person is from. However, with the Asian Americans and African Americans, only the continent is used. European American ethnicities reference the European country that the person's relatives are from, like Irish, Italian, German. These ethnicities also don't use the word American when referring to them because European countries are permanently white. Therefore, it becomes an assumption that a white person in America is European, unlike Asian Americans or African Americans. Now we will get deeper into the movie.
Konnichiwa. What? Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa means what's up.
Konnichiwa is Japanese. It's insulting to Koreans. Konnichiwa, bitch.
Is the Japanese word said as for hello, and is also said as a greeting. The use of this microaggression is derogatory towards Asian people, as it highlights a problem that we have talked about in class: the complex of what type of Asian are you. It is not uncommon for Western films to umbrella individual Asian ethnicities into just one Asian, and this is shown by the term konnichiwa, which implies that the greeting is ambiguous to all, when in reality, it is just a Japanese word. However, you can see that one of the Korean guys in this movie uses Taekwondo kicking techniques to beat up Tom. Let's see the movie clip.
Taekwondo is used in the movie by Korean gang members is disrespectful to Korean culture because Taekwondo is a secret art in Korea, and in the movie, they use it while street fighting by gang members, which shows it in a negative way. Because Taekwondo is Korean tradition, the people that made the movie use it in a way that assumes or Asian Americans or Korean Americans use this to fight, which is not true because in Korea it is a sport rather than a street fight technique.
Let's take a look at this post. In the background during one of the scenes, you see a missing billboard for two girls. The only feature of the billboard that is in Korean is next to the word missing, and is supposed to mean missing, like a person is missing. But instead, it says missed in Korean, like if you were to miss the bus. If the person that created this billboard was Korean, they would have not made this mistake because they would have known the difference. It seems like this is meant to seem like a Korean American made it, but it's easy to see that it's just a lazy attempt by the producers to employ an ethnic flag.
Winston, don't do it.
Winston, what the fuck is that?
That's your slave name, nigga? Do it, nigga. Man, kill that white boy. You white man, kill that white boy. Okay, man. Fuck this nigga.
In the movie, we can notice that people are calling each other by their skin colors quite many times. Calling someone based on their skin colors divide people into colors or race, which is very toxic to the idea that everyone is individually special and unique. Race can be a characteristic of a person, but it should never be the only characteristic that represents a person. If these racial terms continues to be used in the movie, the audience will get the wrong idea that they can call people based on their color skins. And also, it will be harder to treat everyone who has different skin color equally. In other words, if we keep continuous, all of our current efforts to eliminate racism so far will be nothing.
Also, we found more racial terms. Further use of derogatory terms contribute to the racist themes that the film Street Kings conveys. Pinheaded and banana boat are two terms used to target different minorities in the United States. Nevertheless, they have the same effect. They show prejudice towards a certain group of people based on their appearance and genetic complexion, which, if I may add, is not too different at all. This prejudice highlights a bigger issue, that even though we humans are genetically similar, within just a few percent of one another, we still view these few percent as our defining qualities instead of looking at the mass amount of genetic information that we do have in common.
I think it is important to point out that all of good guys in the movie were white, such as Tom and Discount, that are portrayed as the heroes serving justice, and the bad guys were all of the color, like the Korean gang members, Coach and Fremont, Tom's sturdy boss, Captain Jack Wonder, Scribble, the drug dealers, and the criminals in the Mexican neighborhood.
Washington also seemed like he was a dirty cop throughout the movie until the end when the audience finds out that he was set up by his colleagues, which is why they used the African American man to set it up because it was more believable that he was a bad guy when he was black rather than him being white. This shows African American racial bias, or this shows American racial bias and furthers the unequal treatment of non-white men in the American criminal justice system.
Thank you for watching our video, and I hope you all enjoyed the video.
Also, we're really eager to hear what all your comments are and other instances of unconscious biases of race that you guys found in the movie. Goodbye.
Bye.